Let's talk about Fallout Episode 1. So far, we've only watched Episode 1 of this show. We're going to continue watching it in the weeks to come, but we'll start off with just talking about Episode 1. So we'll give our scores and then move into spoilers. I'll start off on this one. And just to give some background for both of us, I think we should talk about that I have played Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4. So that's my familiarity with the series. I haven't played the first two. And I played
pretty much none. I mean, I played like maybe an hour of Fallout Vegas, but I can't have an opinion. I pretty much played nothing. Well, you haven't played Fallout 76?
I'm like you with I played like an hour of 76, and so I don't feel like I played enough of it, but I just didn't like the MMO aspect of it as much.
Yeah.
Because I got out of the vault and it was like a nuke's going off and it just all this crazy stuff, and I was like, I kind of just want a single player game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did.
Yeah, but I'll start off with my score on this one. Episode 1. This was a great episode to start the show off, and I feel like this is one of the best shows or movies at capturing the feeling of the source material. It really felt like Fallout to me. It captured the setting of the world, the different factions, the music, the time period it sets up. It's all so unique to Fallout, and it just felt like it really captured that in such a great way. There were some parts where I was a little confused by the story. It got a little muddled for me, but I feel like that could be cleared up in the future. Maybe they're just like setting up some stuff and keeping it kind of vague right now. But other than that, that's really my only complaint. I thought this was an amazing episode, and it's got me so excited for the rest of the show. I think I'm going to give this one a 9.
Okay. I agree. So I haven't played the games, obviously, like we mentioned. And it's funny you mentioned that it gives the feel of the game and the world, like, perfect dead on, because I haven't played the games and I could feel that it was authentic. And I haven't even played the games. Like, I could tell they put some love into it. And if you feel that way, by the way, you should watch The Last of Us, because it's the same feeling of that show.
Yeah, I need to.
But I really liked it. I'll say this, like, I don't know how much this is following the games or if these characters are in the games or anything, but like I was hooked. Like, from the first scene to the end, like, it was like an hour and 20-minute episode, and it went fast. Like, there was one thing I'm going to complain about. We could complain about in spoilers, but it's more of a nitpick, but like, it annoyed me. But I was hooked. I loved the world of it. Like, I love being in the vault, like, and with the screen, showing, like, feeling like they're outside, the lore of it. It all seemed really, really interesting, and I'm like excited to get to learn more about it. It made me want to play the game.
Yes,
really,
you should.
like, to be honest. And I thought the characters were interesting, especially, what was her name? Lucy.
Lucy, yep.
I think she's an interesting character, like, in her little, like, okie dokie, like, I was cracking up. Like, I don't know, she's just such an interesting character. I'm curious, there's 2 other characters they focus on a lot. We can talk about later on, but or I guess one other they focus on a lot, and another one kind of. But overall, I liked it, man. The lore, the feel, the look, it felt authentic. It looked really good. It was funny. It was violent. It was intense.
So much darker and more violent than I thought it was going to be. But it actually makes total sense for Fallout, though, because that's kind of how the games are or can be.
Yeah, like it was going like, oh dang, I wasn't expecting that. So I really liked it. So I would give it a 9 out of 10 too. And that's so 2 different views, and we're both giving it 9 out of 10.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, well,
I want to talk about more, but we need to get spoilers.
Yeah, let's get into spoilers. So, spoiler alert, if you have not watched episode 1 of Fallout.
All right, the first thing I gotta say that just annoyed the crap out of me, and this is a nitpick, well, kind of a nitpick, was when they, like, after the Raiders came, and the girl's like, you have a choice, your daughter or the people.
Oh my god.
No, it wasn't a choice. She put the daughter in the room, and they let the people run, like, oh, you better run. Like, what?
Yeah, that's what I was referring to when I was confused about the writing. What was the choice?
I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. Like, what is it? Like, this is gonna be an intense scene. And then, like, they drug him, they let her stay there, and they let them run away from the bomb.
I did not understand what the point of that was at all.
That was the one time in this show I was like, this is stupid.
That was
like,
weird.
That was legitimately stupid. Like, that could have been so intense. Like, there's no point to say choose. Like, I don't get it. I didn't get that either.
I did not get that either. I don't know. They could explain it, and there's reasons why. Maybe, like, I heard someone say that lady just wanted to prove to Lucy how her dad didn't really care about them or something. I don't know. Right now, it's just kind of speculation. I feel like they might be able to explain it in a decent way, but for now, I'm not a big fan of that. They set up a choice, but then it wasn't really a choice, and there was no real repercussions.
Even if that's the case, wouldn't Lucy feel more that way if like he picked her and she saw the people die because of him.
Exactly.
To me, there's going to be no excuse that makes me like, even if there's an excuse, oh, they needed to live because they play a bigger part of the story. Well, then why would you even say choose? I don't know. I didn't like that.
I agree. That was my one.
There's no explanation for me.
My one issue with this episode, yeah.
But that the whole scene, like, so first and foremost, the very beginning I really liked. It kind of showed the guy and his daughter. Is he in the game? I feel like he's in the game.
I don't know.
What's his name? The Ghoul.
The Ghoul.
It's an interesting concept.
But
like,
I don't know if he is in the games.
He doesn't look like he would be.
Yeah, he does look like it, but I don't think he is.
If not,
I don't
he's
remember
a cool
him.
original character.
Yeah.
But I like that very first scene of like, what are they? They're in like the 50s or whatever it was, and old cars and the birthday party, and they're kind of, the dudes at the party are kind of being rude to him. And then the whole scene of like the nukes going off looked really cool.
It looks so
like,
good.
Scary, but cool.
Yeah. I just like felt a sense of dread when that first one just kept expanding and expanding. And then they ride off and then just more and more drop. It's like, what do you do?
That looked great. Like the special effects, and the shot of that where they're running on the horse down the road.
Yeah,
that looked
amazing.
Yeah, I really, really loved that scene. And then it fast forwarded to 215 years or something like that.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, dang, okay.
That's pretty similar to how a few of the games start. You start out, the bombs drop, and then you go into a vault, and it fast forwards, and you're a kid being born a few generations later. And yeah, that's very similar to how several of the games start out.
Interesting. So is Lucy in the game, or are these kind of all original characters in the Fallout universe?
I believe they're original.
From what you know.
From what I know. I could see the Ghoul maybe being a small like side character giving a side quest in the game or something. I don't think he is, but I don't think Lucy or Maximus are really in the games from what I remember. But there are a ton of characters and a ton of places in these games. It's very easy to miss some characters, so I could be wrong.
For most of the episode is between two characters, right? Maximus and Lucy. The Ghoul was just the end.
Yeah, but I feel like he's going to be a main character we follow later, and he did get a title card too.
Yeah, I will say I liked Lucy's scenes more.
Yeah, I did too.
Maximus, I liked the scenes. I just at first I wasn't sure, like, because I don't know the lore or anything, so I wasn't sure like what was kind of going on in a sense, and I don't know how I feel about his character yet. Not like in a bad way. I just don't know like what kind of character. Because did he like really stab her?
I think so.
Or put that in the shoe or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I'm not 100%, but I kind of feel like he did.
I kind of do too, but like, I don't know.
It doesn't confirm it yet. It might later though.
And what are those things called? The suit things?
They're the Brotherhood of Steel. And those are power suits, power armor.
So the Brotherhood of Steel, they're in the game?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And they are in the games. It's interesting because, like, just for an example, in Fallout 4, there's like 3 or 4 factions, and you can choose to side with any of them. So in those, you can kind of like pick who you think the good guys are and go along with that. And they're the ones that like kind of shape how the story goes. So I'm interested to see what they do because, well, so we've seen the Steel Brotherhood. There's the New California Republic. There's the, what is that called? The person who escaped. They mentioned it a few times.
Isn't that who they're finding?
Yeah. The Enclave, I think is what it's called. No.
The Enclave. No. That sounds right. I feel like we heard the Enclave. What is the
Institute? Institute. That's what it is.
Institute.
So the Institute and the Brotherhood of Steel, I'm really interested to see how they position those because in the games, sometimes it's hard to tell who the good guys are and sometimes it's not. So it'll be interesting to see. And I like the idea of the Brotherhood of Steel and like that big warship thing they have is so cool. You explore that in Fallout 4. Oh, it's so awesome. But they're also kind of crazy.
I got that a little bit from the episode.
Yeah.
The older guy is like, we don't do violence, just not on each other, but on everyone else.
Yeah. He said like violence is a tool. And that is exactly how they view it in the games. They like to use violence to enact their will.
It's like violence is a tool. We don't believe in violence
against each other. Yeah, on each other.
Against each other.
Yeah.
Which I get, but like it's just funny the way you worded it. I'm like, yeah, these guys seem a little cuckoo.
Yeah. Although everyone kind of is in this world, like post-apocalyptic world.
Honestly, the worst person was the Raiders, dude. That dude that slept with Lucy and got a kick out of it, and then like knew he was just gonna raid right, and kill everyone.
Yep.
But he did that first specifically.
The raiders are messed up, and they were cannibals too. You saw that guy with his leg gone. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
So
the whole Lucy scenes were awesome. I loved every single one of Lucy scenes.
My favorite parts.
So interesting to me.
The vault parts are always so interesting in all the games. And one thing you may not know, you learn about it in the games, is the vaults are all kind of like social experiments. There's a few like normal ones just to see how people would react in that kind of situation. But in all the other ones, they kind of have something weird going on. There was one in the games where like every year they would have to sacrifice a member until they got down to like very few people, and then they didn't one year and nothing happened. And then there was like a speaker came on and said, "Congratulations, you didn't sacrifice anyone," or something. So they're kind of used to like test how people would react in weird situations. And I kind of feel like all the talk of the incest stuff and the cousin messing around stuff, I feel like that's kind of the social experiment in this one. Something having to do with the different vaults connected, which I don't think we've seen before in Fallout in any of the games, and how they would swap. But there was also some like family stuff going on, and so I don't know exactly what it is, but I feel like that has something to do with the whatever experiments are going on there.
Yeah, because some of that stuff I was laughing, like she's like, "It's fine when you're kids, but you gotta grow up." I was like, "What? What is this hillbilly people talking about?" Cousin's like in love with her, or whatever, or her cousin's in love with her.
Yeah, that was really funny.
I was laughing. Yeah, I was laughing. It was played for laughs. It was just funny.
And I really liked her intro because it was very much like you're choosing your stats in Fallout. Because at the beginning of the game, you like give out your stat spread. You're like, I'm gonna be more intelligent, less strong. And she was like, "Yeah, I worked this. I'm smart. I'm not smart, but I'm like charismatic." And so she was like giving off her stats. I thought that was a really cool way to handle it.
I even liked during the raid how like she had her knife and then she went to the armory and like grabbed a gun. Like that seems like such a video game thing to do.
Exactly.
I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, like a lot of shows would like they just run past the armory and just keep using the knife. So the whole after that whole beginning and you start with Lucy, which I like how they did the title cards. Like you said, it felt like Tarantino.
Yeah, that's true. It did.
I liked how I almost wanted to see more of just an episode of the world in the vault, to be honest. Like I liked it that much.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but for me, I kind of wish they would have kept us in the vault for longer before switching to Maximus. When it switched to Maximus, I was like, wait, is this a flashback? No, this is the world now, but we're outside of the vault. It felt kind of weird to me. I understand why they did it, but I almost would have liked full vault and then switch to Maximus after she got out. But
instead of flip-flopping back. Actually, that's a good... I agree, because when you're in the vault, you don't know anything about the outside world. It's like, but like then they switch to Maximus and you're outside, so you just... Yeah, so like you're right. They should have ended Lucy's story, the vault opening and it being bright, and she walks out. Then you can go to like Maximus or something.
Yeah, because for me, I was like, wait, where are we? We were just in the vault. Why am I outside? Is this a flashback? Yeah, it just surprised me a little bit and took me out of the vault world, which is so like insulated and different than the outside world.
Yeah, like claustrophobic, and yeah, I agree with that. Like I thought that would have been better, and maybe it's just because we like the vault stuff more.
Yeah, it's definitely not make or break, but it just took me out of it a little bit.
Yeah, because I mean, you're right. Her brother, he was funny. Yeah. It was even funny when he was like, "I'll trank you if you try to come with me too." He's like, "I'm too scared." I'm too chicken.
And then the guy's like, "Wait, Lucy, no, don't go."
Yeah.
Oh well, I tried. The comedy in the show is so good.
It was funny, but like you said, it was like violent too. Like that when she cut his throat, with the glass or whatever, his face. I was like, oh my God.
And then he shows up later and he's still alive. That was brutal.
That whole the Raiders with the vault, or the Raiders attacking the vault, was such a cool scene. That whole scene, kind of seeing them all run around in chaos.
And it did this interesting like half slow-mo kind of thing. It almost felt so in the game you can go into what's called VATS. It's it like slows down time and shows you where you can aim and you can like set up your shots. It almost felt like they were kind of emulating VATS where it goes slow motion during that.
Like I'm telling you, I could have watched a whole episode and like of just in the vault, and like episode 2 she gets out of the vault. I really found it interesting down there. But yeah, that was like a lot of Lucy stuff. And then she gets out, escapes, tranks her cousin because he wants to go with her.
Yeah, I had a feeling he was going to try and go with her. I like how they handled that. Just trank him and leave him.
Yeah, and leave. And then she gets out and she pretty much sees the ocean and she's in California, I think, right?
Yeah.
And that was pretty much the last. Well, I mean, that was towards the end of the episode, but we didn't see anything else with her, right?
Right. I don't believe so. She just saw the pier and then was like, okay, and then okie dokie. and walk
Oh, yeah,
out. Yeah.
okie dokie. I feel like that's gonna be like a line that people are like. It's a quotable line.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. That's such a
That's pretty funny.
quotable. Like you know who that is.
Yep.
But I like it because she's been sheltered right in the shelter. So
But also been
it's
kind of
really
trained
interesting.
in that shelter too. I feel like she's definitely going to be ignorant of a lot of stuff, but she's also going to have skills that'll help her survive, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that feels very much like the game.
Yeah, that's true. Because she definitely, you can already tell she has skills, and she's not stupid. But
Yeah.
she's gonna be like, she doesn't know anything about the outside world, so she's gonna be a little like cat out of water kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's all. And then there's Maximus, which we kind of touched on which we basically see him training with his friends. And then, I mean, I guess why I didn't find it more interesting is it just, I don't know, with the vault, it seems so, like very, like you mentioned, atmospheric. And then up there, it just felt like I was kind of watching just a dude training and talking to his friend and wanting to get in a position, finding out about the Brotherhood and that they're kind of cuckoo and that his friend gets promoted and he kind of gets jealous,
Yep.
and mad.
And then, man,
that kind
that
of made
scene
me
with the razor blade. So someone, probably Maximus, put a razor blade in the friend's shoe and they like lost their foot, which was brutal to see. Yeah, so they lose their spot and then Maximus gets it after being interrogated. So he's now a squire to Knight Titus, I think?
Yes, Titus. They interrogated him and homeboy's like, "I'll just kill me now. I don't care. You'll kill me, you'll give me purpose." Or like, so I don't know. And
yeah.
The dude liked that answer apparently. And then it kind of shows him talking to his friend and he's like, "I didn't do it." And his friend's like, "Oh, but everyone's asking if you did it."
But the friend seemed to believe him.
Knows.
It seemed like the friend believed him, but yeah, I could see if they do know and just, I don't know.
The way they were kind of just staring at each other for a second before they were talking to each other, it's almost like they were wondering, like, is someone going to say something? Or I don't know, maybe I misread that scene.
It could be. I feel like my problem with it is it's just not very clear.
Yeah, which I feel they're definitely doing that intentionally, right?
Yeah, but that makes me not. I don't like Maximus that much yet because of that.
So his friend, he's scooping up poop, right? And his friend's like, "Hey, just come with me," like, and is showing him like some the cool suits. Like his friend seems like cool, like nice to you. Like it seems like a good friend.
I totally agree.
And then Maximus, like his friend gets promoted, and Maximus is like mad and like it bought her like a little child. And then the razor thing happens, and it's like, well, did he? Like they're setting it up like, did he? Didn't he? But whether he did or didn't, he's being annoying about it.
True.
I mean, I don't hate Maximus, but I don't like him either. Like they should have made him more like, I don't know, sympathetic. Like we should feel bad for him that he didn't get the promotion.
Yeah, I don't really have any sympathy for him. I agree. They should have done a better job with that.
And then what? Then he gets promoted or whatever, and he gets with his Titan or whatever, and they fly away, and he's smiling, happy.
And they get the picture. Their mission is to look for that escaped person from the Institute. And I feel like that is going to be the main driving point of a lot of the story, is that person escaped from the Institute.
So what will Lucy have to do with it? Will Lucy find that person and be traveling with that person, or
probably, or find? Yeah, I don't know.
And then what does the ghoul? So the ghoul was the third title screen character, but we only got like 5 minutes. But I loved that whole scene.
Yeah, that scene was great.
That whole scene I loved.
And I think it was that where the main guy who was coming to see the ghoul was using this weapon from the game, which is basically like, it just like throws random items, and that's the weapon.
Oh yeah.
You saw him like shoot him with like a toy doll foot or something.
Yeah, like a doll leg thing. Yeah.
That's something.
I was like, what the heck? Like I loved those three guys, they go to the graveyard, and I kind of like the atmosphere of it, it's kind of spooky, whatever. And then they're like, oh, this is why we have the chicken. We're gonna set the chicken, because they asked, is he feral or whatever. They're like, well, we brought the chicken. If he goes for the chicken, we kill him. It's funny because he's like toying with him, like he sold the chicken. And
he knows that's why they brought it, and he's kind of like messing
licking his lips. Like I loved that scene, and it's interesting. So like that's the character from the beginning, right? And so like what happened in the 215 years?
Yeah, he obviously got irradiated and turned into a ghoul, probably right away from the bombs dropping that close. But yeah, it'll be interesting if they have flashbacks as to what happened after or how he changed. And
it's like I don't obviously know anything about the game, so it's like an interesting concept to me. Like you've been alive for 215 years, I guess even longer considering before that.
Basically has to do with radiation, and if they get too much radiation, I think they turn feral. But before that, they basically become like undead kind of creatures.
So what is he like? What is he getting fed for when he's underground? Like what's in those tubes?
I don't know. Yeah,
You
maybe
know?
just fluids or something. Just slow drip fluids, blood. I don't know. It probably does, but I didn't get too deep into the lore on the ghouls in any of my playthroughs.
Yeah.
Like I met some, but I didn't. There's probably like books that I didn't pick up that explain all that.
Oh, I'm
happens and
sure.
stuff.
Yeah. Comics or something.
Yep.
But I love that last. It was just the last 5 minutes. Or 10 minutes, not even. It was probably like 5 minutes in it. I really liked it.
Yeah, I love that character, the ghoul. I feel like he's going to be really fun to watch. I feel like he's not going to give a crap and is just going to kind of do whatever he wants, and people are going to be afraid of him, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, and I feel like the ghoul and Lucy are going to be the best characters as of right now.
Yeah.
Maximus is definitely at the bottom tier.
Yeah.
Like he was the least interesting to me. Period.
I agree.
And I hope he gets better. Like I really do. Maybe we'll kind of see him, see the violence and kind of be like, oh, whoa. I don't know. I mean, it's only one episode, so I'm not going to judge him too hard. But maybe like I finished this episode and I was about to start another one. I'm like, oh man, this is good. Like I was hooked.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try and watch as many as I can this week. Oh man, I have the songs. The song choice in this is great because they're all the songs I love from the games, and I've had them stuck in my head since I watched this episode. The music in this is so good. And there's so many like little Easter eggs. Like before the bombs dropped, there were just so many little things. Like the little robot butler guy, I'm like, that's in the game, and there's, I don't know, there's just all this stuff. I can't even remember all of it.
Easter eggs.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I like how they're appealing to both non-game players and game players. I feel like they're doing a really good job with that.
Yeah, unlike Halo.
Unlike Halo, yes. I'm very impressed with this. Not so much Halo.